Tell me what the hell are you scared of when in the end the only thing
Where's
that's
the love? Right here on
love's
this
in your
podcast.
hand.
Welcome to
Welcome
Love
to Love
Drops,
Drops,
where your
tell
hosts
the things
and
that
One Love
you
ambassadors,
never
Charles
refuse
and
or
Diane,
waste.
will
Never
share love,
promise you an empty
hope,
word
and
that tastes the
inspirational
sweetest. So it's
topics
like
taken from
one of
their
these
journey and world
situations. I was
events.
a child
We
who
will
loved
also
like
include on location recordings and special pop up guests from cool places all around the world. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
whether big or small, love never fails. Oh, love it conquers all. Love never fails.
Welcome to another edition of Love Drop Podcast. Charles, you got the mic.
Thank you, Diane. Diane and I are excited for reaching our 5-year mark of dropping love on the Love Drops podcast. It's definitely been a journey, but a beautiful one that reflects the very essence of love itself. We're grateful for every guest and even more so of our return guests. So, with that said, we would like to welcome back Monique to the Love Drops podcast. Monique is a strategic account manager for a successful medical device company, balancing a demanding career with family life as well. Known for her dedication and drive, she manages key partnerships in a fast paced industry, bringing both her heart and experience to her role every day. Again, we welcome Monique to the Love Drops podcast. Monique, you have the mic.
Hello, hello. Thank you so much, Diane and Charles, for having me again and having me back. I'm excited to talk to you too. My name is Monique Jacques. I live in Thornton, Colorado. It's about 25 minutes north of downtown Denver, and I've been here since 1989. But yes, to piggyback on what Charles said, I'm a devoted mom of two teenage boys. Help me, help me. I am a huge lover of musical theater, and I hop on stage from time to time, but I'm looking to do it more often when I can. But I'm a strong advocate for the arts and the LGBTQ plus community. And I would say a couple of life's challenges includes the loss of my beautiful mother. And I also went through a divorce. So my journey and my life has definitely changed. But with therapy and spiritual growth and my family and friends, I thrive. And that's it.
Yes, you
So
do,
I'm
Monique.
excited to talk to you both and share my story with the Love Drops podcast listeners.
Awesome. And we're so happy to have you. And yes, my dear, you do thrive indeed. You're definitely an inspiration to me and everybody that's close to you for sure. So, we're going to talk about second acts, right? So,
Yes.
you got that theatrical background. And so, like the first act, your opening act, and then you come out and you do that second act, and that's when you bring it. And that is what you're doing. You're bringing it, Monique. So I want you to talk to our listeners a little bit about your second act experience. Like, share with us, just starting it, just your mom's passing.
Mhm.
That was a hard thing. And then the divorce. So talk to
Yes. I would say I'll give you the fast version as far as my mom goes. When she was very young, had scarlet fever. So she had a valve problem. She was told, you won't live to 6, you won't live to 10, you won't be a teenager, you won't get married, all this stuff. And she really just went above and beyond. She's like, I'm gonna live, I'm gonna get married, I'm gonna have a child, even though they told her not to. And yeah, it was rocky. It was rocky, but here I am. And, she always dealt with heart problems. It's just the way it is. And she lived till 70. And that was with a pacemaker, that was with, continuing on with cardiologists and everything like that. So when she got sick, it wasn't a total shock, but at the same time, she lived her life and we knew it was coming. It didn't make it any easier by any means, but I call it a blessing because I was able to be there with her. She had been in the hospital for so long. And I just, random day, I'm going to go see my mom. And she had just seen her grandkids the night before. And sure enough, with me being there, she took her last breath, and it was a blessing to be there. But I tell you what, I would not be standing. I would not be standing without therapy or God, because she was my best friend.
Hmm.
She was my best friend. And I do know several people that were just like, well, I can't stand the holidays anymore, or I can't stand this. I know everybody handles grief differently, but I was like, you know what? I know my mom would want me to continue on. She loved her grandbaby so much. And I literally said, every single day, I'm going to find something to make me smile or make me laugh. I,
Yes.
I put that on myself. I had to do it because without doing that, I probably wouldn't be standing or sane.
Oh
You
yeah, for
know,
sure. For sure. And we've had many conversations post your mom's passing, and the big thing is, would she be okay with you getting stuck and you going down that rabbit hole? And we both know
exactly.
that it's like no, because just as you mentioned, she had a zest for life. She lived her life. She lived the wheels off.
She sure did.
Yeah, she went out blazing. And
Yeah.
when I look at you in the
Mhm.
second act, especially now post divorce, I see you living into your big self now. I see you
Yes.
living into your big self. So, Charles.
Yes, and in talking with you, I can hear a lot of your mother in you when you're
Yeah.
describing it. I say, wow, so that's her mother. That's
Yeah,
her
hmm
mother.
yeah,
And the strength and everything. And just in talking with you and from the years that I've known you, it's always been an inspiration, motivation, not down. You've always been up and forward. And it's just a
I
blessing
try.
to have you. You spread a lot of good love, lady.
Yes, you do.
I
So,
certainly try.
yes. So circling back to okay, so you've lost your mom, you're standing through that. Now you lose your marriage, right? Talk about
hmm
taking the stage after like two dramatic blows, right?
Right,
So
right.
yeah, talk to us about that.
Coming full circle with that, it's like we all know ourselves. We know when we're not happy, when we're trudging through mud, when we're going along to get along. And it was getting to the point, this was like probably a year after COVID. It's getting to the point of where I feel like I have an elephant sitting on my chest. I cannot breathe. And again, I'm hearing my mother's voice like, okay, like, what are you doing? And I start dreaming about her and I start journaling like, I'm not happy. Here are the pros, here are the cons, and finally getting that strength to be like, hey, I'm not happy. Are you happy? Because I'm not happy, and just having the strength, finding the strength to stand up and say it. And it was one of the hardest things I've ever done, but it may not have been a great marriage. We weren't meant to be. But I tell you what, after we had talked and had that serious talk and slept on it, and he came back to me the next day and was like, what do we need to do to make it okay for the kids? And I nearly fell off the couch and it's so strange to be in a marriage and feel like a mouse and like I didn't have my voice to now being divorced and on my own and having a voice. And I can talk to him so much better now. And my kids see me happy and smiling. and being a strong mother. You know, it's been a whirlwind, but I think just knowing I wasn't happy and hearing my mom's voice, in the back of my mind, just saying like, what you gonna do? What you gonna do, girl? Like, let's go. Like,
Right.
let's live your life, And
Right.
I took it. I took the reins and I just kind of ran with it.
Yeah. So
Sure.
would it be safe to say that once you took courage to say, you know what, not happy, we need to do something different here, and, maybe explore the co-parenting route and live our lives, do you feel like you got your power back after that?
For sure. On so many levels. It was just like I said, it's much easier now having conversations, whether they're easy or challenging, because I feel, I guess, strong on my own to finding my voice again, having my opinion heard. Those are things I just couldn't do before for some reason. You get in your roles of, who wears the pants and who, it just kind of shuffles along. But yeah, it's just so much different now. And again, therapy helped with that as well. This was something I did not do on my own. And then taking a step back and having that realization of you didn't take a moment to like mourn. Yes, you're happy that you're single and you're doing your own thing, but you still have to mourn that time that has passed and the years that have gone by and the person that was in your life in a totally different way. So I had to do that as well.
Yeah, yeah. And so then once you were able to embrace your freedom, mourn, and then you were ready to take on the world and take on the world you did. Let's talk about that.
Yes. Well, what's cool, the way we decided to do our schedule is I have my boys every other week. The week I don't have them, I grab them on Wednesday, dinner, homework, whatever. So, needless to say, when I don't have the boys, mama is out. Like I said, I'm either at a show, a theater show. I've had friends that live here in the same state that had told me, I haven't seen you this much when you were married and with your family and everything like that. It's taking me time to a whole new level.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I've been able to get a carry-on bag and hop to a different state for like a few days and go on adventures. And yeah, it's
Oh,
been
yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, you are definitely understating it, and that's why you got me. Yeah, I think you've seen Usher in Vegas like 22 times.
Yeah.
You've been to New York. We met up in Portland. I mean,
Yes.
we met in Charleston. You have definitely been a nationwide globetrotter. Can't get you out of the country right now.
Soon,
Though,
soon, I
yeah,
promise.
I'm in the UK, and you're in Colorado trying to get you over. But yeah, I believe it'll happen. You're gonna really be dangerous once you start that international travel.
I know.
You're gonna be dangerous. You're gonna really be dangerous.
Yes,
Yes.
Yes.
yes. And then listening to you, you've identified these molehills, climbed over them, went through them, didn't stay there, just kept
Hmm.
going. And so many folks need to hear that. They get stuck
Yeah.
in there and they don't get through it. They don't get through it. They get stuck
Yes.
right there. But in listening to you,
That,
they need to hear you also.
yeah.
Absolutely. And I know that you know that I know that you know that, there were challenges. So before we even go a little bit further, do you want to elaborate on maybe some of the things that you found challenging?
Being honest with yourself. Like I said before, like knowing yourself and recognizing things. I would recognize something and ignore it or let
Mm.
it build up. And that's one of the main things that I remember talking about in therapy. When you recognize it, put action to it. Don't let it lie. Don't ignore it, because that's when you get sick. That's when you have an elephant sitting on your chest. So it was really a matter of just recognizing it. And it's like, this is another thing people may not know about me. I have fibromyalgia. Dealing with chronic pain is not fun, but there are things that I've done to tweak, my life, whether it be certain things that I have to stay away from or knowing when the weather is shifting. There's things that I can do for myself, taking a hot shower, moving, taking a short walk, even if it's stretching in my living room. It's like I plan for it because I know I might have a shift, in my body and I might not feel that well. It's the same thing with life. Winter's coming. I don't like winter. I get the blues. You get sad. Well, I know what's coming. Can I change it? No. No, but again, it's like I have to take action. I started boxing at this place, and I had signed up well before winter because I knew it was coming. And I'm like, I need to get on it. I need to get on it and I need to hit it. If
Right,
I don't do things like that, then that's when I go down the rabbit hole or I'm stuck on the couch or feeling sorry for myself. So I
right,
try really hard to do that with life, period.
right.
Recognizing it, seeing it for what it is. And if I can make changes, great. And if I can't, I just try real hard to roll with it, you know?
Right. And so when you said that and you were talking about the chefs, I also go back to a time where you made a professional chef as well. So, like taking this stage into your new identity, into your new person in life, right? As this
Yes.
now single mom of two teenage boys, and you get into this new job or position. So, yeah, just talk about that and, just the adjustment of that, taking that professional stage in this act.
hmm
Yeah.
Well, I've been in the medical device field for over 15 years, but yes, a new job and new title had presented itself to me. And I left because I was not happy with the other role, the management, the way we were being treated, etc. So taking this new job, I knew I'd be doing different things, but I had no idea. It's like you hear Excel, and I would normally say, "Oh, I can do the beginner stuff, or I can touch this or whatever." But this is like a strategic accounts manager position where I had to step it up, if you will. You
Mm-hmm.
want to talk about confidence. I had no confidence. I was ready to quit. I was questioning why I did this, starting to look again to see what was out there. And I ended up seeing a life coach that I met through one of your groups, the
Yeah.
Sunday
Yeah.
chats that we did. And
Yeah.
it was so interesting to just be able to talk to her, leave positive sayings around the house and not filling myself with negative talk because I was doing a ton, a
Mm-hmm.
ton to get past a year. And now I'm doing projects that I used to shudder at. It's weird. It's night and day to be so afraid and confidence holding me back from something that I knew I could do. I just had to give myself the chance to do it. And now I love it. I've been there 2 years this past April. I'm using Excel like I've never used it before. Yeah, it's been very, very positive and very rewarding
I love
to
that.
see how far I've come.
I
Yeah.
love that for you. I love how it looks on you. And the theme that I'm getting, the reoccurring theme is one, just saying yes to your joy. Two, not settling, getting to that point where you say, you know what, enough, really enough with the
Right, right.
relationship, enough with the job, right? And then once you take
Yes.
that leap, it's uncomfortable because I remember you with that job. And, we're not going to drop it in here that you were making good bank, but money isn't everything. Yet it was a
Right.
motivating factor and it did actually allow you to rethink it. Because I'm sure if, if it was less, you'd be ghost. But,
Right.
just like you kind of rethink things because you say, well, wait a minute, hold on. I'm being called out to learn something new. We're 2 years later, and you are quite proficient, quite
Yeah.
comfortable in what you're doing. I want to
Hmm.
circle back and just give a shout out to my girl, Karen Buren's Encourage to Action, because that's what I
Yeah.
do. And, I love Karen, and you guys work together so well and with results. It was results
Exactly.
that
Yes.
that came from that, and that's always a great thing. So with the co-parenting thing, and you have two now teenage sons, and we were able to meet with you guys in South Carolina. I want to say,
Hmm.
was that last year? No, the year before. So
Just
it's
the
been
year
like
before.
2 years
Hmm.
ago. So I think Charles had something to say on, just co-parenting young men, right?
Right.
Oh, yes. There's a lot to be said about that. And for you to take that on and let it take you on. And the underlining thing that I've always heard about Monique is, yes, I can. Yes, I can. And then you say, well,
Hmm.
where's this coming from? Yes, I can. And you're doing it. You are doing it.
Yes.
And what I said earlier, you are such an encouragement. More folks will be listening to your voice. A big encouragement. Yes, yes,
Yeah.
and yes.
Well,
Yeah,
thank you.
and you really are. You encourage me. I think I've said this to you before, as you're entering that second act. And
Hmm.
that was the way that you and your husband handled your divorce. I mean, you guys could like give workshops on that because it was so thought out, and the boys were always first, regardless of how
Right.
you were feeling, regardless of what he was feeling. It's like the boys were always first. So
Hmm.
let's speak to that just a little bit because we're going to take it to the stage.
No, I mean, if anything, like I said, I've got a nice group of friends around me, and I've seen a couple of examples of two women friends that they went through hell. I kind of took from that and I did take notes because I really didn't know what to expect. Having it go the way it did, I couldn't be more happy, and I'd say I'm just truly blessed because it could have gone a whole different, a different way.
Absolutely.
But yes, I'm very happy that we were able to be mature with one another. And that's another thing I'll never forget. When we took our class, we had to take, a class for parents and speak to the counselor on our way out. And she was just like, man, I must say, you two are just great with one
Mhm.
another. And we are. And to have it be finalized and have him call me just to say, you okay? You doing okay? And I was like, man, we may not have been meant to be married, but we share two beautiful young men. And I was like, hallelujah for that, for us to be able to be like this with one another. It just speaks volumes, and I can't be happier. Will it always be like this? No. I'm sure things will come down the line, especially the older they get and we start bringing other subject matter into it. But at least we have a strong footing, with one another.
Absolutely. And you really
Yeah.
do. And it shows with your boys. Your sons are productive, they're active, they're freaking amazing. They really are amazing. I guess this is probably part of the podcast when I'll say, so your mom and my mom were first cousins. So
Hmm.
you're my cousin sister. And so that's why so much knowledge just for listeners to kind of know because I keep jumping. They're like, well, how do you know? So yeah, and it's very interesting because I was blessed to have time to meet with your mom and see your mom before her passing. She got a chance to meet Charles once, and also just to meet you. That's how we got to meet, like as adults, right? And so I
Hmm.
saw you at the end as you were ending your first act and transitioning into where you are now, your second act. And this I know is there's a stage calling you out there. I know this, you know this, that's that thing that I know you would do for just the love of it, because it's just you love
Right.
it so much. So talk about that a little bit. Talk about just taking this stage in the second act. Have you done any stage things?
Nothing recent. The last thing I did was last March, if you will. And it was perfect for me because it was like a cabaret style type show, one rehearsal. You get up there and do it. Now, granted, I hadn't done anything for, I want to say 7, 8 years before that. Maybe one other cabaret show, but I was so nervous and it wasn't questioning myself. It was being in front of peers that are still actively doing it all the time. And no, are they going to judge me and all of that? It went well. It went very well. And it was so great to be back up there. I think what I'm trying to do now is find smaller venues where it's a shorter run, where I'm not expected to be there every single day. Because I have been eyeing auditions, believe me, I have been. But when you see rehearsals Sunday through Thursday every week, and then you do the show and it's 8 shows a week, that's when I start going, okay, how am I going to make this work with, football and piano and all of that good stuff. So I'm still trying to do some rearranging of schedules and whatnot, but it will happen. When, I don't know, but it will happen. Even if I
Awesome.
can find like a short run, like I said, just to keep me happy.
Right. So while you are just in the wings waiting to take the stage, there's a lot of just Broadway musicals and things that you've seen and enjoyed, and we talk back and forth about it. So what
Mhm.
is the most recent performance that you've seen and really enjoyed?
Well, last week I got to see On Your Feet, the story about Gloria Estefan. You want to talk about high energy. The singing, whoever they got to do Gloria and Emilio, they were amazing. The dancing, the costumes, it was really, really good. So yeah, that was last week, and I've got a matinee tomorrow, so
Oh
I'm on
wow.
it.
So
And
what are
it's a
you going
small
to see?
theater. This one's called Follies. It's a concert style, and it is, like I said, a smaller venue. It's at the Vintage Theater down in Aurora. So I will be picking up some flyers to see what they've got coming and, what their rehearsal schedule looks like. If it's a little shorter and I can make something happen, then I'm gonna jump on it for sure.
Awesome. Awesome. So, okay, I got a couple of things here. So, first, what advice would you have for a woman, maybe considering just taking a big leap, be it professionally or relational? And they're afraid that they'll get out and just maybe they'll crash and burn,
Hmm.
because I think it's fair to say that, like, you left a marriage. How long were you married again?
We were together 18, married for 15 years.
Right. And you were in your dream house and just, I
Hmm.
mean, from all outer appearances, living a dream,
Hmm.
right?
Right, right.
So, how do you walk away from living a dream? What would you have as far as inspiration to say to a person that is just they're not happy?
My best advice, I guess, is just to be honest with yourself. If you're a person that stands by action, look in the mirror. Pick up that pen, pick up the paper, write down why you're unhappy, and then write down or say to yourself, what can I do? What can I do to make the change? What can I do to make myself happy? Visualize it. That's another thing Karen said. Have a vision board. It may sound silly, but I tell you what, when you have a board that you see every single day and you can put on it, be happy, look at other jobs, look at other places to live, look at, auditions, look at losing a couple pounds, whatever it is, and you see it and it's in your face, you can't ignore it. And you can't ignore how you feel. Mine was the heavy chest and you can't breathe. I would have gotten sicker had I stayed. So it just comes down to, what do you want? What will make you happy? And what will make you healthy? What will keep you healthy? I don't know if that helps, but these are
Absolutely.
things that I said to myself, I say to friends now that are struggling with different things. Like, you got to write your lists, you got to talk to yourself, look in the mirror, and vision boards. Take
Mm,
that step. It's possible. There's so many people that look at me and say, you're glowing in your pictures. You look so happy. And I am. It wouldn't have happened had I not made that scary change. That's what it comes down to. That's what it
absolutely.
comes down to. And I don't
Absolutely.
Yes.
regret it. It was one of the hardest things I've ever done.
And in listening to you, I know a
Mm,
lot of our male audience out there listening, they could take notes from that because so
mhm,
many times we as males will keep it wrapped up inside instead of externalizing it, where we can
mhm,
see what's going on and
mhm,
we can help ourselves and to help others as well by doing that. So that's a lot of knowledge that you passed on. So for our male audience, take notes.
mhm.
Absolutely take notes. And I will say this as we're wrapping up, what is your dream stage? I want you to speak it out because I truly believe in the power of words. I believe in you. I believe that, you're a phenomenal force and vibe.
The Buell Theater, downtown Denver. Gorgeous venue, huge stage, me in the middle of the stage, all made up and belting my lungs out.
Oh,
There.
bless. Nice. Is there a particular show you'd like to be belting yourself out?
Man, there's so many, like Lion King or Smokey Joe's Cafe. That is an amazing cast, amazing music. The Wiz. Yes, we just saw that this past April, and just to see all those beautiful, Black people up there, just, oh, yeah, that would be the dream.
What about Hamilton?
Geeked out. Yeah, Hamilton would be amazing as well.
You met him, didn't you? Didn't you meet the
We
director?
got to, yes, Lin-Manuel, we got to meet him this past February. We were
So
there
how was
supporting
that?
a friend, and oh gosh, there are no words. There's no words. But yeah, it was a cute little show. It was like a reading of short stories and comedies, and we went there to support our friend Anna Lee Ashford. And the cast would switch off every other week or so. And my friend, who is in love with Lin-Manuel, was like, "We've got to go the week that Lin is there. We got to meet him." And I didn't get my hopes up. I'm like, "Sure, okay, yeah, we'll go, we'll go." But yeah, sure enough, after the show, she came out, gave us our hugs, and then here comes the rest of the cast. And I'm like, this is happening. Oh my gosh. Yeah, he's so
Yes.
sweet, so humble, so down to earth. Yep.
And
Like, put in a good
because,
word for me. Let,
yeah, oh
let
yeah,
me do a tour. Let me do a tour.
let you do it. I'm telling you, I have availability for your next Hamilton remake. No. So, and because you said yes. to your second act, you've had those and so many more amazing experiences. And I know that the best is yet to come. I know this. I know this. And
Yeah.
I will be front seat in that audience watching you at that theater there in Denver, Colorado. Yes, I will. Me and Mr. Charles Woody will
Well,
be there.
I'll
we
let
will
you
be
know.
there.
Yes, we will be there.
And our
Let you
listening
know.
audience, they will possibly want to be there as well. So let me ask you this question. What is some of the best ways for our listening audience to get in touch with you?
I can leave my email. I am on Instagram, but I am a little private there. I don't let just anybody join the train. So,
Okay,
but
okay,
I can definitely leave my email for sure.
understandable.
And that
Yes.
would just be for really when we say for our listening audience, we want to make it really specific with you because
Mhm.
we're talking more about just life, changes and just
Mhm.
life things, right? And so what we'll do here, instead of you just leaving your email, if there is a director,
Oh,
producer, or
TikTok, TikTok.
somebody that is out
Mhm.
there in the theatrical genre, right? And you want to
Mhm.
speak with Monique, then what you do is you just reach her through us at Love Drop Podcast. I have an inside connect. So that
Yes, yes.
instead of, just throwing that email out there, because we just got a lot of happening.
TikTok too. I
So,
am a little silly on TikTok and I am public on that. So
okay.
I
So,
tend to
but
let
yeah.
my creative juices out on TikTok. So
Well, yeah, so we
yeah.
can do that. So you can like give us your TikTok name, feed, or whatever, and we'll put that in the narrative,
Okay.
and they can check you out and put you on the stage.
Yep, yep.
So,
We'll do
any
it.
closing words, Monique?
Just live your life and be happy. If you really want to be happy, dig deep, ask those questions of yourself. What can I do? If you can do something to change it, if you can make a change, job, relationship, parenting, whatever, take the chance and do it. Because then you might just be happy. You might get that chance to say, wow, okay, I deserve this and I could make it happen. If I could do it, you can do it too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, we thank you for being our guest today on Love Drop Podcast.
Yes.
We've
You're
had a great
welcome. Thanks for
time.
having me. I love you
Absolutely.
guys.
We love you too. And you'll be back. You'll be back. You'll be back telling
Again and
us.
again and again.
Yeah, you'll tell us about your play. So we wait for that playbill announcement so we can announce it on Love Drop Podcast, right? When you take that stage. So want to thank our listeners for hanging in there with us, and we appreciate you. Subscribe, share, and yeah, until next time,
We
Charles
say
and I say
one
one
love.
love.
To know. Never a second will I waste. Never an opportunity to taste the sweetness of this life.
Thank you for tuning in to the Love Drops podcast.
Follow the challenge.
Be sure to follow this podcast and share the love with everyone you know. Until next time, this is Charles and Diane signing off. One love. One love.
Love it conquers all, whether big or small. Love never fails. Oh, love it conquers all. Love never